everyone, welcome to Zenden, a safe space to calm your mind and body. Today I'm going to be doing a very quick practice for tourists or people who have been walking around a lot. So yesterday I spent 8 hours being a tourist in Paris and my body aches, my back, my legs, my feet. So I'm just going to be showing you a couple of poses that I'm going to be doing myself to help relieve some of that tension and that pain. So the first thing we're going to do actually is Badakanasana. Now this is usually a pose that we do at the end of the practice, but today it just feels right in my body, so I'm hoping it does in your body too. So what we're going to do is bring our feet together in front of us, and your feet might be further away from you, they might be closer to you, so wherever they are, just find what feels good for you. You might want to have a bit of a wiggle round. And bring your hands to either your knees, your shins or your ankles with a nice straight spine, and your chest is lifted, and you might want to close your eyes as we just start to ground ourselves for today's practice. Focusing on your breath, on your inhales and your exhales. And with each inhale and exhale, try to extend the breath. Taking deeper inhales and longer exhales. And as we start to open our eyes, I'm actually going to massage my feet here. So if you want to do the same, you can do. Just with your thumbs and your hands, start massaging the soles of your feet, because this is the area for me that started to hurt the most yesterday and today. So you can start to massage one at a time with both hands. So just squeezing, that's essentially what I'm doing, is squeezing my toes and then squeezing the sole of my foot in different ways, just to relieve some of that tension that I built up from walking around so much yesterday. I had a wonderful day, by the way, walking around Musée d'Orsay and Musée de l'Orangerie. I always struggle to say that one, but saw lots of fantastic artwork, but my feet and my body is paying for it today. So it's nice just to take some time for yourself and just give yourself some self-care and some time to just feel better again, really. So just massaging our feet. And when we feel ready, we're going to come back to the position that we started in with a nice straight spine and gradually start to lean forwards. So this will stretch your hips. This might also stretch your back and your lower back in particular. Something that I like to do in this pose is to almost press my elbows into my knees so that I can press my knees down. It almost just feels like a nicer hip stretch for me personally. You might not want to do that, but that's up to you. And the main thing in this pose is not to curve your spine, so we're not looking down. It's more about, I can put my head to my toes, but that's not the point. The point is to keep a nice straight spine and just stretch forwards, like pull yourself forwards, wherever that might be, until you feel a nice stretch in your hips. So we're not going too far. You don't want to cause any pain here, any injury. It's just about stretching your hips from all that walking that you've been doing. And when we feel ready, we can come back up to a seated position. And I'm going to move into head to knee pose. Now my head goes nowhere near my knee, just for reference, that's not the point of it, that's the name of it, but that doesn't often happen, especially for me. So what we're going to do is extend the left leg and bring the right leg, so the right knee is bent, and bring the right foot towards the left inner thigh. And usually people like to keep their legs straight. I'm actually going to bend my leg today because I know my hamstrings are tight from all that walking around. So I'm going to have a slight bend in my knee. Make sure that I'm sitting up nice and straight, so I'm not hunched over. Sit up nice and straight with a straight spine. And start to bend over that left leg. So this honestly is stretching for me. If you have your leg straight and you're bent all the way over, perfect. If you're like me, perfect. You just want to be able to feel a stretch of your hamstrings down here, which is exactly what I can feel here. So I don't need to go any further. So this is all about listening to your body and doing what you feel is best for you. So I am keeping my left toes pointing up to the sky. This just helps with the stretch. And I'm almost hugging my knee. So I am bringing myself towards my knee. But again, we're not hunched over. Try and keep a nice straight spine as much as you can. A straight spine and just folding over the left leg. Oh, I can feel that stretch. That is working. So just going to stay here for a couple of moments while we feel this stretch. And we're going to do the opposite side. So come back up to a seated position, extend the right leg and fold the left leg so that the left foot, the sole of the left foot is touching your right inner thigh. Again, I'm going to bend my knee quite generously on my right foot. So again, keeping a nice straight spine, start to bend forwards over that right leg. So again, we're not hunching over, we're just folding forwards until you feel a stretch of your hamstrings. Now my hamstrings are super tight, as you can tell, because that is really stretching. And you're peeling your toes up towards the sky for a nice stretch there. Not doing too much, don't push too far that you hurt yourself or cause an injury. Just enough that you feel a stretch without being in pain. So as we're here, you can focus on the breath as well. Focus on your breathing, on your inhales and your exhales. Keeping a straight spine. I felt I was a bit hunched over then, so straight spine and fold forwards. Yeah, I can really feel that stretch. And when we feel ready, we'll come back up to a seated position. We're going to move into cat-cow. So you come onto your hands and knees so that your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. And from here we're going to do some cat-cow. So as you inhale, you can drop your belly and lift your gaze and look up. And as you exhale, round your spine and look down. Let's do it 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. And from here, if you bring your big toes in together, bring your knees further apart, and send your hips back to your heels, and we're going to come into child's pose. So you might want to either extend your arms out in front of you, or you can bring your hands down by your side, so depending on where you are today. But you slowly bring your chest down to the floor, and then your head might come onto a block. If you have a block, this would be a great place to use that, or 2, or a bolster or something like that. Otherwise, you can bring your head all the way down to the mat and extend your arms out in front of you. And we're going to stay here for a couple of moments, and this stretches your hips, your lower back. This also stretches your feet, your shoulders. This is a really great pose. I know it's a relaxing pose for a lot of people, but it actually does a lot of stretching as well. So let's go ahead into child's pose, and we'll stay there for a couple of moments. Remembering to focus on your inhales and exhales. And on your exhales, see if you can sink your chest lower into the floor. So really relaxing into that pose. And let's start to bring our hands back up and start to come back up to a seated position. Onto our knees. And from here, I would like to move into, I can't remember the name, I should do because I'm a yoga teacher, but reality is I don't remember the name. But we're going to tuck our toes under and sit back. So you might want to keep your hands on the floor so that you're supported, so you're not placing all of your weight on your feet. Otherwise, you might want to bring your hands to your knees and gently press back onto your feet. Maybe you want to have blocks either side of you that you can hold onto for support as well. Or otherwise, you might want to come up with a straight back and sit straight onto your feet. That feels too much for me today. But what we're doing here is stretching the soles of our feet and our toes. Now, obviously, if you've been walking around a lot, that's kind of the area of your body that probably feels sore. So it's nice to give them a good stretch, stretching your toes and the soles of your feet. We're going to stay here for a couple more moments. If you're starting to be in pain, come out of the pose a little bit more. And when we're ready, we're going to place our feet back on the floor and just tap your feet against the mat. It's going to relieve any of that tension from stretching. It feels so good. And the last pose I want to do today actually requires a cushion or a blanket or a bolster. There's a sofa here, so I'm just going to grab one of the cushions. So I have my sofa cushion here, and what I'm going to do is place it on the mat. And we're going to lean back on it. So bring the cushion just behind you. I'm actually going to have my legs in Badakanasana, so the soles of my feet are together and my knees are coming out to the sides, a bit like how we did at the beginning of the practice. Bring the cushion behind you and simply lay back. If you do want to place some cushions or blankets or blocks or anything underneath your knees to support your knees, you can do that as well. Otherwise, you're going to lean back onto the cushion and bring your arms down either side. And this is quite a restorative pose, but it's also a great chest opener. I felt whilst I was walking around that I was quite hunched over during the day. So being able to open up my chest in this pose feels really, really good. And we're going to stay here for a couple of moments. And we're actually going to do our Shavasana in this pose. So make sure you're comfortable because we're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. And I'm just going to run through a quick body scan. So bring the attention to your toes. How do they feel after you just stretched them? Moving the attention to the soles of your feet and the top of your feet. Move the attention to your ankles and relaxing your feet and your ankles. Moving the attention to your shins and your calves and up to your knees and relax. Moving the attention to your thighs, your quads and your hamstrings and relax. Moving the attention to your hips, relaxing your hips. Move the attention to your lower back, the middle of your back, and your upper back, and relax. And feel supported from the cushion beneath you. Moving the attention to your tummy and your chest, and noticing how your body moves as you breathe with your inhales and your exhales. Moving the attention to your shoulders, release any tension in your shoulders. Moving the attention down your arms to your elbows and down your forearms, and relax. Moving the attention to your wrists, the palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, and your fingers, and relax. Moving the attention back up your arms to your shoulders and to your neck. Maybe move your head around until you find a really comfortable position, and be aware of how your neck and your head feel. Release any tension of the neck and relax. Move the attention to the back of your head, up and over to the top of your head to your forehead. Relaxing your forehead and your eyebrows. Closing your eyes if you haven't done so already. Relaxing your eyes, your nose and your mouth. Unclench your jaw. Relax your jaw. And bring your tongue from the roof of the mouth to relax. And as we lay here in this pose, just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Notice any sensations in your body. Paying attention to your breath. You might even be able to notice your heartbeat. And just relaxing your whole body. We're going to stay here for a couple more moments, so really enjoy this relaxation. Enjoy this moment of stillness and of silence. Feeling supported and grounded and relaxed. When you feel ready, you might want to start blinking open your eyes. Maybe start wiggling your fingers and your toes. And to move out of this pose, you can bring your hands to the outside of your legs and slowly bring your knees in together. You might want to bring your feet almost to the edge of the mat and your knees in together. And stay here for another moment. Just really take in how calm you feel, how relaxed you feel. And we're going to slowly move on to our side and press ourselves up to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.